Good morning, dear Thai, dear friends. So welcome to a session of questions and answers. We have already many questions here on the stage. There are in fact so many that we cannot all answer them. But luckily tomorrow there will be a Dharma talk. And so all the questions that are written down, Sister Annabelle can have a look at them and in some way or another answer them in the last Dharma talk. And for us, like everybody who has been in Plum Village, they have seen the Plum Village logo. And it's Smrti, Samadhi, Prajna, and that means mindfulness, concentration, and insight, or wisdom. And so also when we ask questions, then we need a collective mindfulness, concentration, and insight to shine light on that question. And very often it's not like mathematics, like you say 1 + 1 is however many. But very often it's interesting. There's so many perspectives you can have on a question, and we can shine light on it. And so, like also an answer may help us to find our own answer, because wisdom cannot be given, and but we can support each other to develop our mindfulness, our concentration, and our insight. And so a retreat like this is where we have a collective mindfulness. We can also have a collective insight. And so we do our best. We hope we can help you find your own answer just by helping to be mindful of a certain aspect of the question that maybe we have not been so mindful of ourselves yet. And so it's an invitation to explore, and we explore together as a fourfold Sangha. And so the questions that we ask is not so much a theory. A theory we can Google. Today there's many questions we can very easily find the answer to. But this is more of an opportunity for us to look at different aspects of our life where we are already looking for an answer, and where the practice might help us. And we will also do our best from our own experience in our practice to share in a way that we hope can help you and can help other people as well. And so a good question does not need to be very, very long. And also for us, already the process of formulating our question and to see what our real question is, I think that's already more than half of the answer. And so we have many children over here, and we would like to give the opportunity to the children first, and then after a few questions, then the children can have their own children program, and then we can have some adult questions. So if there's we have 2 children questions already here on the stage. So in any case, we have already children questions, but it would also be nice for somebody to sit on the chair, because we put the chair there. It was a lot of work. And so it would be a pity if nobody sits on it. It's very comfortable. And we have a microphone for you. And so every time we sit down and before we ask the question, we are invited to listen to one sound of the bell, so we can all breathe together, in and out, and we can calm our mind and we can prepare ourselves for the question.
What's your biggest spell in the retreat centre? Which one's your biggest spell in the retreat centre?
Actually, I forgot to introduce the panel, so not that you think that since I started it that I will give all the answers. So we have Sister Sanyam, who's sitting on my most right, on your left, and she's also in the European Institute of Applied Buddhism in Waldbröl, already for quite some years. In Germany, so we live in Germany. And then Brother Fab Kuy, he lives in Plum Village in France, in the south of France. And also Brother Yasha, I think you've seen him many times already. He's very active in this retreat, organizing. And he's also living in Plum Village in the south of France. And my name is Brother Fabsa. And so you are asking if this is our biggest bell, right? So I invite the other people to answer the question.
Dear respected Thầy, dear Sangha, dear young friend, actually this is quite a small bell compared to the other bells we have at our different centers. We have a very, very big bell. It's called a great bell. Huge. We had to hang it on the ceiling. And when you're invited from Upper Hamlet, sometimes you can hear it in Lower Hamlet also. And so in most of our centers, we have a big bell like that, and we invite once or twice per day. But that is the physical size of a bell. The bell is actually, it really depends on you, if you would listen to it. If there was a big bell there and we invite it, but nobody stopped, nobody listened, then really the bell isn't there. So the size of the bell is really depend on you. So even a small bell like the one we have there, if one of us or one of you invite and you stop, you follow your breathing, and as your breathing go deep and you calm, then that is a really big bell. That's a great bell. So I hope that helped.
So you can still think of a question. So because we also have a written question, and this is how can I become a monk? That's a children question. So how can I become a monk or a nun? I think.
So, dear Thầy, dear Sangha, the question seems like very simple questions, but it involves many aspects of life. how can I become a monk? When I reflect back on my journey from being a layperson and to becoming a monk, it's a very long journey. Basically, every one of you can become a monk or a nun. And you get to wear a very cool dress like us. Like, you notice on a rainy, windy day, this will flip. Really cool. I really enjoy it. It's kind of a bell of mindfulness for me whenever the back of the tail of my robes is fluttering. I feel like I'm a Superman. In this case, I feel like I'm a super monk. And it really makes me feel really good about being a monk. But that's just the outer form of this robe of a monk or a nun. So if you have the aspiration to become a monk, first we all need to practice, to know, to listen to ourselves, to know really what I want in my life. Do I really want to become a monk? Because I struggled with that questions for a long time in my life. From when I was a high schooler, I wanted to become a monk. But eventually I became a monk when I was 35 years old. And it was a struggle of more than a decade. So for me, these questions is not that simple. But everybody can become a monk or a nun, as I say, if you are, you have a healthy body, you have a healthy mind. But first, you need to grow up. Grow up to be a healthy living beings, human being, and need to learn to be thankful of our parents, of our teachers, of our friends, and all the beings in the world. When we have that gratitude, we have that kind of love, then we have what we call bodhicitta. It's called the mind of love. And when we have that kind of mind, the mind of love, to love ourselves deeply and to love all beings, including our parents, our teachers, our friends, friends that we like and friends that we dislike. We have to include everybody. And then all the beings, animals, plants, minerals. When we have that kind of the mind of love, then we can become a monk and a nun. And one day you'll get to wear this cool robe and be a super monk. So there are many things we need to cultivate in our life. For me, it's always a journey. It's a process. It just manifests in front of me from time to time. So I don't really need to. I have my destination. I want to go there. But it's the journey, you know. It's like an adventure. When you go and, for instance, search for your Easter bunny chocolate on an Easter day, it's not just about finding the chocolate, but it's about the joy of going and, I know I want to find some chocolates. They are hiding somewhere out there. But it's this process of running around, going, searching behind the bush, behind the flowers, or behind the kitchen, in the door. And all this is what really counts. And even if we haven't found the Easter Bunny chocolate, we're already very happy. So becoming a monk or not becoming a monk no longer become a question. And when we finally are able to feel that way, then we'll be at ease. We'll be very free. We can be a happy monk, or we can be a happy lay person. But it's all up to us to choose, and we have the right to choose. I hope my answer can resonate in you, and I wish everybody can become a happy person. Doesn't have to be a monk to be happy, but if you can join us and wear our super cool monk robes, we'll be very happy to have you. Thank you.
Dear respected Thầy, dear respected Thầy, dear friends, yeah, that's cool. Dear respected Thầy, dear brothers, dear sisters, dear friends, dear little friends, I become a nun because of a very, very simple reason. I was not a hero like the brother. Just simple thing. I become a nun because I love my parents. My mother loved to go to the temple. Going to the temple is her happiness. My father learned a lot of sutras, and he was very busy in the daily work, a lot of things. But every evening he came to a temple to do chanting with the monk there. I say words because he already passed away very, very long time. We were as 1 month old. And I just hear the story about my father from my sisters. And thus I decided to be a nun. And very luckily, as a nun, I am very happy in this path. And I hope that if you love your parents, you don't need to be a monk and nun. You just support their practice. Like your father or your mother, very love practicing, but because they're busy, the work, and busy to take care of you. So in the day, you have few minutes to let them support them to practice. Like let them 5 minutes in quiet to sitting, or 10 minutes, and enjoy with them the meal in silence, and only in 5 minutes, have a silent meal with your parents, and or wherever your parents talk together a little bit louder, like it seems like not in harmony, you can invite the bell for them to breathe. That's also, you're already a half monk or nun. Yeah, thank you for question.
So does anybody change their mind, like to sit on the chair? Otherwise, maybe we can have the last question. There's one more written question. And that question is, how many types of Buddhism are there? And now I'm wondering if any of you has an idea. You have an idea how many types of Buddhism there are? Yeah? 7. Okay, maybe let's count. Breathing in and out mindfully. Is that a type of Buddhism? Okay, that's 1. Then what do we do now? Smiling, is that a type of Buddhism? That's 2. Then we do walking meditation together. in peace. 3. Then mindful eating, the eating in the dining hall in silence. Then you have sitting meditation. What else? Okay, noble silence in the evening. 6. And then I think we need to have one more for 7. Let's see, what is this number 7? Question and answer. So I think it's correct. I think there are 7 types of Buddhism. But they all these different types of Buddhism, they have all the same flavor. And so the flavor of all these different types of Buddhism is that there is understanding and there is love. So sometimes they look a little bit different, like walking meditation looks different from eating meditation, but they can have still the same flavor. It's the flavor of finding peace in ourselves and accept ourselves the way we are, to understand ourselves, to understand the people around us, our father and mother, and to love our father and mother. That's also Buddhism. So, in order to also have time for the questions of the adults, maybe with the next sound of the small bell, the children can stand up and then turn around and bow to the parents. You can turn around and say goodbye to all the adults. Say goodbye with bowing. Thank you. Thank you for your questions.